Have you heard the news? He got a brand new show that's breaking all the rules. Started out from VA, and then we on the move. From local to global, cause we got something to prove. Came from the bottom, now we at the tippy top. Hold it down for our people, cause we all we got. This a cold, cold world, but we keeping it hot. With our future on the line, ain't no time to stop. All work over here, still we having fun. Ain't no holding our tongue. Go get us on the team, and we getting it done. And shout out to Travail, girl, you number one. It started with a dream that turned into a vision. To educate new generations is our mission. Ears to the streets, yeah, we steady politicking.
If you ain't about to change, mind your business.
Wait again a minute.
Wave your hands with it. Wait again a minute. Wave your hands with it. Now wait again a minute. Wave your hands with it. We top six like we all up on the gram with it. Now wait again a minute. Wave your hands with it. Now wait again a minute. Wave your hands with it. Now wait again a minute. Wave your hands with it. We top six like we all up on the gram with it.
Welcome to another episode of Wait Again a Minute podcast. Today is Thursday, February the 3rd, 2022. Tonight is episode 12 of season 4. And our topic is the life.
The life. Okay. How was your week today? The day, the week, yesterday, Tuesday? How's it been going, Gail?
Oh, I said, are you talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Actually, it was good.
Yeah, because you did nothing right.
No, I worked this week. I actually worked Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. Today I was a little light day, but
you worked yesterday?
Thank God for those light days.
Okay, so our special guest, Miss Aisha Hannibal. How was your day?
My day was good.
How your week been so far?
My week been okay. Yeah.
Did you work?
Regular. I did. I work every day. Every day.
Now y'all up your line. Both of y'all
Every
up
day.
your line.
Work hard.
Oh my goodness. Now you really
Are you nervous about tonight?
I'm nervous a little bit, but I'm okay. I'm
Right,
with
because
friends.
you in good hands. We not all state, but you in good hands. Trust me.
You should be all say. Well, tonight is about the life, and we have a special guest, Miss Aisha Hannibal, which happens to be my good girlfriend, the boo to my jank. Hey, yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's here tonight to enlighten and share her story, the way she wants to tell it. From marriage, she's a college grad, marriage, kids, all of that, and she's just gonna go into giving us a little bit about Aisha. So, tell the audience a little bit about Aisha. Who is Aisha?
Well, I am first and foremost, I'm a mother. I am from Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I am a graduate of Hampton University. However, I did most of my time at Rutgers, so I can't really claim Hampton, but since I'm in Virginia, I will.
Okay.
I work for Social Security Disability. I'm the director.
Hey, the big wig.
Yeah. Enjoy it. Thoroughly enjoy it. Love Virginia. Happy I came down here. Definitely have created a family from my friends.
Okay. So tell us, what brought you here to Virginia?
Oh, gosh. We're going to jump right into it.
Right.
All right. Well, at Rutgers, I was working Foot Locker, met someone that came into Foot Locker who then pursued me. And I ended up, he did. He sure did. And we ended up getting married. At the time, he was in Blackstreet. He's in Blackstreet. And he basically made me come to Virginia. Put it like that.
Come to Virginia.
Right. So we eloped. Nobody knew.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
For a long time. And I moved down here.
How old were
Transferred
you?
19.
Okay.
19.
Oh, you were young.
I was very young.
Okay.
It all makes sense now.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm here and I haven't left, haven't gone back despite everything. I'm still here.
So you moved to Virginia. So you eloped. You moved to Virginia. And now you're saying Virginia is your home.
Absolutely.
So basically you're just from Jersey, but this is home now.
Yeah.
Although, you have your kids and you have other family that's here with you.
Yeah,
like your
yeah.
mom and your sister.
Yep, my mom, my
Okay.
sister. Yep.
How many kids you have?
I have 3 girls. My oldest, she's named after her dad. Her name is Chauncey. She's 24. She's a dancer.
She's gorgeous and she can
is.
dance.
Graduated from VCU dance. I have a 22-year-old, Kayla.
Mhm.
She's a graduate of the United States Naval Academy, so she's an
Okay.
officer
Mhm.
in the Navy, now stationed in Rota, Spain.
Mm.
And I have a 15-year-old, just got her report card, all A's.
Okay.
So,
where did
But
she
you're
get that
used to
from?
that though.
Where did she get that from?
Me, I think I'm their mother really because
whoa.
they're so beautiful and talented and smart.
Oh,
They
thank
had it.
you.
Yeah, they had the heck out of me.
I mean, I think they got it, from their village.
Okay.
Mhm.
From their village. It's definitely been
Mhm.
a team effort in raising the girls. So,
Mhm.
yes,
Mhm.
they've gotten it from you. And Chevelle, because Chauncey has definitely been in your office plenty of times.
Yes. Yes. Oh, that's right. Because her first job was with me, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Then she grown.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
tell us about so just tell us about how everything just came together about, you started off, you was married at 19, but you did continue your education. You didn't let that stop you. And although your husband at the time was in, a R&B group, and at that time it was like a big deal. He was like in a mainstream R&B group. So
Yeah.
he was a celeb, and so you was a celebrity wife. So
Yeah.
how was that?
Well, when I moved down here, because of the family that I came from, education was non-negotiable. So I had to graduate. It was no way around it. Now, I will tell you that my mother said, "Oh, you married or you want to be grown? You tell your husband to pay for school now," because she was
Right.
paying, and of course he did. So yes,
That's right.
I did graduate. When I graduated, I actually was like 4 months pregnant.
Okay.
So I just got through by the skin of my teeth, but I knew I had to get there.
Right.
And from there, just took off. Chauncey was very, very busy, gone a lot. Before my baby was born, I was living in big old house in Virginia by myself. Didn't know anybody.
Okay.
We had just built a house, and basically all I did was shop.
So you was a college student, but also a housewife.
I was a housewife. I was a housewife until 12 years ago when I got the job that I have now. And I was a proud housewife. Now, I was a housewife. Now, I ain't do all of the cooking and the cleaning, though. I mean, I was just there.
So you were like Atlanta, like
namesake.
one of those Atlanta type
Housewife.
reality stars?
I had a
Housewife?
nanny, a living nanny,
Oh, wow.
nanny that, took care of the kids, and she cleaned the house and stuff.
Well, see, you know what though, Aisha? Now I'm thinking about it. You have an excuse though because you were young.
I was
Yeah.
young.
You were young, so
Mhm.
now if you were to become a wife again, you would have to kind of do some of those duties.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm at a totally different stage in my
Your
life now.
right,
Mhm.
right.
The growth that I've been able
Mhm.
to have over the years has really turned me into somebody else. When you
Mhm.
ask, who are you? One of the things that I most that I take pride in the most is my growth,
Mhm.
is my transformation
Right.
from being this young girl who, basically was, sheltered. I was sheltered even through my marriage. I
Right.
wasn't able to go to the mall and do all of this stuff.
What?
I lived in a house with a gated fence, and you had to ring the bell to gain entry, and
Wow.
very, very sheltered, like military mall.
Mhm.
I wasn't able to go there. I had
So
Oh,
you
well, I
wasn't
can't-
able to go to
Well, you
military
know what
circle?
though? I can't see you going military. I can see you going to Greenbrier or
Lynn
The
Haven.
government.
Lynn
Lynn
Haven.
Haven.
Right.
And then when MacArthur opened, I went there, but no. Mm-mm.
So you weren't able to
Wow.
go there because of the type of mall, or because he didn't want you to go, or just because security said no? Like, why weren't you
No,
able to go?
we did have security for a period at the house, because once people realized where we live, we used to get a lot of people that came to
Okay.
the house. drawers in the mailbox. And,
Oh my God.
you know,
Ladies were putting their panties in the mailbox.
No, she said draws.
no panties. I meant panties. Boo-boo.
I was messing with you.
Don't do that. No, panty. I mean,
You
I've
can't,
gotten
yeah.
followed. I mean, you name
So
it.
at this
I've had
time,
it.
you're a young girl in a state that you're not familiar with, and you have no other family. And at that time, you didn't have your village of friends. So you getting followed and you being sheltered. How did that make you feel though? Like, what was actually going on with you internally? Did you like the fact that you was being sheltered because of the life you was living, or was it still an issue, although you still had access to a lot of stuff that other people didn't?
It wasn't an issue at the time. It
Okay.
really wasn't. The group of people that I associated with
Mhm.
were other wives. Other wives of
Of the group.
the group, and
Mhm.
Teddy
Industry,
and
okay.
Raquel, and I mean, and some of them are still very close friends of mine that
Mhm.
I truly call my sisters
Mhm.
as well. So, I mean, we were all in the same boat.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
but it wasn't. It wasn't like we were in a family group. It was Chauncey and his wife over there, this one over there, that one over there, and we came together. Sometimes even superficially. Probably
Okay.
one,
Oh,
Markel's
yeah.
wife. She and I very close.
Mhm.
Spent a lot of time at each other's homes. She's the godparents to my oldest.
Mhm.
So I did formulate friendships,
Okay.
from that period. But it wasn't long after that my sister moved down. She moved
Okay.
in with me. And then shortly after that, my mom moved down and she moved in
Okay.
with me. And it really was because I was by myself. Chauncey
Right.
was on the road all the time.
Right.
And I had a new baby and I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, and you was young, and
I was
that was a
young.
lot.
Yeah.
And that had to be. That still seemed like that still would be like a lot going on mentally, because of the fact you are young, trying to balance it all. A new mom, a wife, young, still in school, trying to complete your education, but then you still didn't have that friend. Like you said, it was maybe you had some friends a little bit, but it was a little superficial sometimes, could be. But you didn't have that one person you knew you can really count on to like be there, right? Because then you was like kind of closed up. Then you couldn't go
Right.
to the good mall because at that time Military Circle was popping.
Yeah,
It was.
it was.
I wanted to go.
And you couldn't even go to meet other
I
people.
was going down Virginia Beach Boulevard,
looking,
like,
going, hey, I want to
right,
know.
exactly, right, yeah. The closest I could get was there was a car wash behind it that
Right.
was popping,
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
and I would be getting my car washed every week.
Just so you can get
Right.
close to Military Circle. Let me see
Right.
what's going on out here.
Until Chauncey was like, "No, the guy gonna come to the house and wash the car. You don't need to go to the car wash no more." I'm like,
Dang.
And
So it
take
was like
everything from me.
basically you were sheltered, but you were when you, if I'm not mistaken, when you grew up, you were kind of the same way, or you had more leniency
as
or
a
as a
child,
child.
I came from a middle class household.
Okay.
So I'm the oldest. I have a
Okay.
younger sister. So I was the one that broke all the rules
Broke all the
first.
rules.
So she
Mhm.
was more sheltered than me.
Oh, okay.
'Cause
So you set her up.
I was in them Jersey
Okay.
streets. Yeah.
Oh,
I was
okay.
yeah.
So you went from them Jersey streets to coming to Virginia and can't even get in the street.
And slower.
Right.
Right. And it's slow
yeah.
pace
I mean,
anyway.
now I went to private school, so I was a
Mhm.
Catholic girl with the Catholic outfit on and all of
Mhm.
that stuff. But after school, I
You
was in the
having
streets.
fun.
I was
Yeah.
trying. Yes.
Well,
Oh,
ain't
Lord.
nothing wrong with that. Well, it now I'm not sitting here thinking about it. It all kind of lines up.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing out of the norm for you.
Right.
You middle class, now you're upper class.
I mean,
And
I was.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you
At that time, yeah.
at
So
that
it's still
time,
kind
yeah,
of like went.
and you still in the journey that you're on now, you're still good.
I am. I'm blessed.
You
Yeah.
and I think is, more so, I mean, I'm just on the outside looking in. Maybe it's more so, like you said, the transformation, the mental,
Right.
not just, some people look at it as a tangible thing,
Right.
but I think it can be a little deeper than that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It was a period where you can get anything you want you know, money was never a object. You know, it was go go to the Range Rover dealer and switch your truck out, or go here and or a new truck was being delivered, or you pulling up and he got. I mean, we probably we probably had 7 cars at one time. We didn't even have enough space in the driveway. You know, at one point he came home with a new Lexus, and I saw 2 contracts, and I was like, "Why you got 2 contracts?" He said, "Oh, I bought Teddy one too." What? But the other side of it is I also would review his contracts. We started a business, a production company. We had a couple of artists in our production company that came through Blue Cantrell.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, she came through our company as well. And you know, we had a couple artists. Now things go sour because everybody wants that spot. And I think that, you know, that was one of the
what spot? His spot?
My spot.
Your spot, yeah.
So it doesn't matter how you come in your eyes, my spot is attainable. You know? What they did not realize was that I wasn't disposable.
Okay.
So they quickly learned, and I would tell them in the beginning, listen, I'm signing your checks, so I could either sign it or not sign it.
Right.
You know, just stay in your lane.
Tread lightly.
Yeah, and some of them did, some of them didn't. You know, Jersey came out to me a couple times, and it is what it is. But you know, when you're in that lifestyle and you're living it, and you know that's all you know. You know, I went from being dependent on my parents to being dependent on my husband. So there was never a period of independence. There was never a period of personal growth.
Right.
For me to say, oh, you know, I could do it on my own. I could do this. I could do that. Because everything that I had came from, you know, my spouse. And at the time, I wasn't mature enough to make it work for me. You know, I had money, and you know, I had access to money, and there was some that I would save, you know, but I could have saved a lot more. I could have shopped a lot less and saved a lot more. I could have started a business. I could have done a lot, you know. So, you know, in hindsight, you know, that so many people, so many young ladies, so many beautiful young ladies, you know, seek this lifestyle, but they're not ready for it.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
And I'm not knocking anybody's hustle. If that is what you want, be ready for it. You know, there are certain aspects of that lifestyle that you have to prepare yourself for. You have to prepare yourself to be number 2.
But do you honestly think that it's something that you can prepare for?
Yeah. So, you know, if you were a regular guy that go to work at 9 and he comes home at 5, there are certain conversations that we can have, you know. No, you ain't buying that today, or no, you ain't doing this, or no, you ain't going with your friends, or you're not. From where I came from, those weren't conversations. You know, it wasn't a matter of, it wasn't a discussion of what he was going to do. It wasn't, I didn't have that authority to say, no, you're not going you're not going with Teddy and the rest of them to get your car washed because it's Sunday and we said we was going to have family day, you know? So there's a persona that comes with that lifestyle that has to be upheld because that's what pays the bills.
So you mean like he had to appear out in public all the time, or appear single?
Appear single. Boom. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that's where the statement that you just made about you have to prepare that you could be number 2, although you were technically supposed to be number 1 because you're the wife.
On paper, she's number
right.
1.
Yeah. But if he's out, you know, living the lifestyle for the industry of being single and having to be around, you know, everyone else in the industry, and he had to be like a sex symbol, that's where that idea come in. Like, you could possibly be number 2 because not only are you, you know, dealing with the number 1 of his career, so that's a chance of being number 2. Then being number 2 to the other fellows in the industry that he's hanging around to put on this persona for the audience, that's another chance of being number 2. And then if he do run into a groupie and get up with a groupie, that's another chance you're playing number 2. So it's,
I ain't play number 2 to none of the groups.
but I'm saying, no, not intentionally,
Just saying.
but not intentionally. But you know what I'm saying? You're not
Right.
intentionally going to, but at the same time, if he's out there all the time doing all this stuff, you're going to have some of them groupies, some of the ones that put them panties in the mailbox. You know, some of them might not even seen them, met them, nothing. But then you might have some panties from some that have actually seen them or met them
Oh,
or
absolutely.
whatever.
I mean, I was never naive to what I was living, to what I had gotten myself into. I wasn't naive to the fact that there were people out there that knew stuff about my husband that they should not have known. And you would only know in an intimate setting.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
And at 19, 20, 21, 22, you don't grasp that concept. You go into what you mean. It's my man. Da, 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 da. Now, at 46, which is what I am right now, proudly, if I was still married, it would be a different ball game.
Right.
You know, but at that age, it's like fight or flight. You know, it's like, no, this is mine. You're not getting this.
You're not gonna mess up my home, yeah.
Right. When in actuality, it's not their fault.
Exactly.
I mean, the man is letting them cross that line. You know, my fight should be with him, and it was on plenty of occasions.
Right.
It was, but it should have been with him all the time. You know.
Yeah.
But do you think that because of what you went through when you were married made you who you are today?
Good and bad. Yes. Good and bad.
Okay. How good? Tell us good.
So my growth made me so much stronger. Gave me the resilience that I didn't know I had. You know, when my marriage ultimately dissolved, I was left with very little. I didn't walk away with, you know, all this money. On paper, I'm supposed to have a whole lot of money.
Right.
But, you know, I didn't walk away with a whole lot. You know, I walked away with my pride. I walked away with my kids.
Right.
And I walked away knowing that I had to represent the example that I wanted them to have.
That's right.
For their worth, you know, and it worked. You know, it worked for me. It may not work for the next person, but it worked for me. And I remember the first time my cousin called. She was working, and she said, "Aisha, you need to apply for a job," because this is at the time I wasn't, you know, I was separated. She said, "You need to apply for a job." I was like, "A job? What is that?
What is
a
that?
job?"
What are you talking about?
Right. I was like, I got money because I had some money.
Right.
You know, I was like, I got money. I'm good. She was like, "No, but you need a job."
So she was trying to like keep it real, like us regular girls. Like, no, a job. It's going to run out. You need a job. You're like, no, I'm about to get dressed and hop in my Range, and I'm going to the store.
I mean, I didn't understand. What do you mean money runs out?
Right.
It's a tree outside.
All they have to do is just go shake it, and I have a lot of money.
Right. Like, what does that mean? And she was like, "No, you need to get a job." And I was like, "All right, I'll try."
Right.
You know? And I did, and I got it. So my first job, I was there for a couple months. I worked at child support, and I learned a lot in those couple months. Mental note that I needed later. But and then she left there, and then she went to another job at Social Security, and she said, "No, come here." And I said, "Listen, I'm not going to keep following you. This is fine. It's easy." She was like, "No, come here." And I came to Social Security, and I haven't left. So I thank her for that. That's where I met Shantae. So yeah, the journey, lots of ups and downs. And it hasn't been the best in terms of my relationship with my ex, but we're good now, and that's what matters, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, when you have heartbreak, it takes you different places,
right?
You know, and you have to get back to who you are, you know, because my identity was so connected to Chauncey, to being Chauncey's wife. And for a long time, I had to figure out what I wanted to do and who was I going to be without Chauncey.
Right. And you have three impressionable girls.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you had to really put your boots on and
strap them up and do what you do.
Do what you had to do. And I think you did well.
Thank you.
You know, if you just sit back and look at your girls, even down to your baby. Um, you have to feel good, when you look back from all of what happened to now.
Yeah. And I think that, personally, I'm not a confrontational person. So Chauncey and I, even in our marriage, we didn't do a lot of arguing and screaming and yelling. So the kids weren't privy to, the adult stuff that they should not have seen. They did not see that.
Right.
And even after that, when we had our tribulations, our trials and tribulations, I made sure that I did not degrade him, despite whatever problems we were having, because we had enough. We had quite a few. I made sure that my kids were able to formulate their own relationship with their father,
That's right.
after their parents separated. And a lot of hurt came through, a lot of nights of crying, when I first got divorced. And I mean, we separated for a while before we got divorced, but when I first separated, I went through a whole period of, like my self-esteem was shot, and it was like, well, how, why, what's wrong? What did I do? What's wrong with me? And, I sought attention in, the wrong avenues. I was hanging out, and because I didn't get any of that in my 20s, I didn't get the normal 20s. So hanging out and going to the clubs and all of that stuff, met a bunch of local people. So, people around here might know me. But
now they know you.
They
know they didn't know you in your teens, your late teens, early 20s, and your 20s, but maybe in your 30s, mid 30s, 40s. Absolutely. Y'all know me.
Yes, they know me. They know me. And hey. But it's part of my story. It's part of my journey. I'm made full circle back to knowing who I am.
Right.
Back to climbing a ladder. And being proud of the accomplishments that I've had, that I've been able to have, in spite of the setbacks.
Right. But the setbacks set you up for the setup that you have today, right? Yeah. But let me ask you this. At what point did you say, you know what, this is it as far as the marriage?
Yeah. I mean, I can most certainly say that things were rough, for a long time. And because we were so young, we really didn't get to know each other. We didn't even really know each other for a long time before we got married.
Okay.
And he had a daughter. So there were situations, revolving around that impacted things. But for the most part, the infidelity was continuous.
Okay.
And I think there's a certain perception that a lot of people have, like, well, you gotta know that they're gonna cheat. It's certain things that you have to accept. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest. There were certain things that I accepted, but the line was crossed when that stuff hit my front door.
Right.
When it started to impact my life.
Right.
And back then, things are so different now with social media, and people can put people on blast, and you can put a tracker on this phone and you can find stuff. No, I was literally like going to the movies. Like, I see, hit your ass up. Like, absolutely. Back in the day, yeah, because it wasn't a tracker. It was, I saw your car.
So basically, you had to manually do a lot.
Manually, absolutely. That's why I had the nanny. I gotta go.
Right. I gotta go.
Absolutely.
Now, how were you finding out he was at the movie? Someone had to drop you a little call, drop your little nugget.
Back in the day, right? Back in the day, we used to, I used to, don't leave your phone, because I'm gonna figure out your password. I'm gonna check. That's back in the day, we used to leave voicemail messages.
It was easy. Yeah.
We didn't text everything. It wasn't no sort. So I'm listening to your voicemail messages.
You got it all.
What? So you knew what time the date was.
Listen.
Meet me at the movie at Military Circle. Yeah, I'll meet you at Military Circle. She can't go there. Yeah. She better bring her ass to Military Circle.
I mean, he has some moles in his crew too.
Yeah.
That would slide information.
Drop that little nugget like, oh, where's Chauncey? Oh, Dad.
And what you also have to realize is that those women wanted to be seen. They wanted
they
to be
want to be
known,
seen that they was
you
with,
know?
yeah.
Right. So it was, I mean, they were happy to
Yeah.
oblige, you know? So yeah. Um, so the last straw was when after I had my youngest daughter, literally flatlined twice when I had her. And I was in the hospital in ICU for almost 2 weeks. And during that time, my sister was my saving grace. She was there with me in and out. And I had a newborn and I had the kids at home. So Chauncey was taking care of the kids at home. And but he wasn't present enough for me. He wasn't available enough. He wasn't nurturing enough. And this is not a dig on him. You know, he wasn't ready for what we had.
Right.
You know, and he wasn't ready for me. So got home, still, you know, very much healing and all that, and still not there enough. And I just woke up one day, you know, with just I can't do this anymore. I can't do it anymore. I'm tired of searching and looking and finding, you know, because when you search, you're going to find something,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
And I was tired of that. I was tired of that. And I needed to know that this wasn't life. Like, I'm going to have to just step out on faith and figure this out. You know, all the money in the world couldn't pay for the feelings that I had. You know, it wasn't, you know, it just, and I had to go. And I'll tell you, you know, the first year we communicated very well. You know, it was almost like we were buddies, like, you know, that first year. And he got into some legal trouble and at the time he had moved on. He, you know, he had, you know, a chick and whatever. But and but when he needed something,
He knew where to come.
he had to call me, you know, and it kind of brought us back to, and at the time I was dealing with somebody too that I thought was going to be my forever. And, you know, because that first person out of the marriage, you fall head over heels for, and you like, this
especially
is
if they
love.
doing something different than what you're used to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And he came to the house and we had a moment and we decided to get back together. So we had separated for a year, then we decided to get back together and we stayed together. I don't even think it was a year where we were like, this, why did we do this? No, we can't. No, why?
Yeah.
And after that, we separated completely. But it was really because I was just tired of it. I was tired of constantly trying to prove, like, I'm your wife. Like, you know, so that was the last straw.
The last straw.
Yeah. So it wasn't one thing. It was just a culmination of things over years that I just had enough. Yeah.
So when you finally, so we moved past that, so you finally decided to leave. So when you left, before your cousin actually called you and told you, bitch, get a job, okay? You need to get a job. What did you actually sit and do? How long from the time you decided to finally leave for real, and your cousin calling you, telling you, you need a job? What was the time frame and what did you do during that time frame?
I went to the club every day.
Oh, wow.
Spending money that you kind of like say.
No, I didn't have to spend any money.
Oh, so that's when you was going out and you finally stepped into Military Circle Mall and you started meeting people.
Hello. And realized I don't have to spend any money to have fun.
Right.
You know, like I said, I literally embraced my 20s and my 30s.
Right.
And enjoyed myself. I have no regrets. And that was my story. I was, you know, I was new to the scene, so I was fresh meat for everybody.
So you was like finding, so at that, so you're fresh meat.
Right. I was like, no.
But they like, oh, she must look. You've been out here for about 12, 15 years by this time. They're like, oh, she must have just moved down here. We ain't never seen her before. I've been in the house, but I'm out now. So that's when you start saying, I'm outside, y'all.
Yeah.
I was, you know, like I was reserved initially because I'm very big on intentions, like someone's true intent. And I knew that, and I remember having conversations with Chauncey. He's like, it's gonna be hard for you to find somebody, and you got to be real careful and blah blah blah, because they just gonna want to fuck you because you my ex-wife and blah blah blah. And I absorbed that. I
Right.
really did.
Right.
I mean, I still do at times. I don't go out, meeting people saying this is who I am, this is my story, and this is who I was married to, because there are certain there are certain there's a certain perception that comes with that really doesn't fit me.
Right.
I'm not high maintenance. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not.
Oh my gosh, she's in a bit right now.
No, I'm not. Right?
Don't look at me. I'm not assisting on any of this, because y'all. That's why y'all friends, because y'all connect and y'all are so much alike.
Like I said, I am not high maintenance. I am I go to work every day.
That has nothing to do with it.
And work hard for my money.
Right. But you're not at 7-Eleven either.
No. And you know what? I will say that even in the midst of the down times, like, I mean, there were some really, really down times where I didn't have it.
Right.
What saved me also, I'll say this. I did have a trust fund when my grandmother passed.
Okay.
That had lots of money. So that really held me over for a long time.
Okay.
And I really wasn't worried. So it's
you
gone
was a trust
now,
fund kid.
Me and Bobby, literally, we were
going now.
Listen, we was out there like, transfer this into my account, transfer that. So I didn't feel that impact right away.
Right.
So
you went from, so you basically been a rich kid.
Yeah.
No.
Pretty much. You might not have been coming up, you still was good. You was going to private school. So you still was good. And then you might not have had as much as you had when you was, with Chauncey, but you still was comfortable enough that you can go a while without even having to get a job, to the point where someone had to tell you to get a job, and you question them like, what? Get a what? How you spell it again? You know what I'm saying? Like, you had no idea. No idea.
No.
But
I still don't know why.
But at one point you were working though. You was working with the production company with him. You handled all the books.
Yes.
So you did have some work going on. Although it was for yourself.
We still have a studio in Hampton that we literally built from the ground up. So we went through contractors with that. We together did a lot. So I did have some corporate sense,
right?
In a way that I consider myself able to articulate with anybody. So, I oftentimes did some negotiations with him, contract negotiations and stuff like that. So that part of it has always been with me.
Right.
I've always had the ability to advocate for myself, for my beliefs, or whatever the mission is.
Right.
So yeah, I'm never going to claim that I'm, hood life,
well,
gang.
Right, because you can't. I mean, you really can't claim gang, because that would be so untrue.
Right.
And we don't. We definitely want you to come up here claiming gang, and you ain't gang.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not gang.
So now that you done moved on from all of that, now it's you and the girls.
Me and the girls.
Yeah. So like you have Chauncey, she's a dancer. Kayla was a baller. Now even Chase is a baller. So how did you manage to go from that to like, okay, now it's me and the girls. Let me figure out what to get them into. How did you know to put Chauncey in dance? Because now she's like a professional dancer, where she's like doing movies and all this other good stuff. Like,
so Chauncey was in dance. I put Chauncey in dance when she was 2.
Okay.
So she danced all through her childhood and everything. And we were at every recital. We were traveling up and down the East Coast and all of that. As far as basketball with the other girls, coincidentally, the first person that I dealt with after Chauncey really introduced me to the basketball world.
Okay.
And put Kayla in basketball. So I do owe him a debt of gratitude for that.
Because Kayla's a beast.
She is, and Chase is too, for real. But and it was part of their growth, because it consumed so much of their time. It didn't allow them idle time. Never got into trouble or anything like that. So it was important for me to maintain the extracurriculars that we did at the level that we did, you know. And it was a lot. It was a lot. But it paid off for 2 out of 3, and it's gonna pay off.
It's gonna pay off for the third one.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because not only are they talented, their academic really strong.
Yeah,
like they're very smart. So I know you can't take credit for them being smart, but
maybe y'all didn't hear me. I said all of it.
But anyway, somebody want to know, would you ever get back with him?
Being that you're grown and matured and stuff.
No, it's so funny that and people ask me that all the time because he and I are actually really good friends. I mean, we can converse about anything, and he's in a whole nother relationship.
Yeah.
And while I don't care about it, we don't cross those lines.
Right.
We definitely only co-parent, and we're in a good place. So I don't even look at him like that anymore.
Okay.
Honestly. Yeah. So that's a no. Yeah, no. Love him and will always love him, as my ex-husband, as the father of my kids, and hope that we can continue to have a good relationship, but not.
She's definitely not in love at all.
No,
it's like more of a love, like that's my buddy.
Hey, bro.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
But the bro.
But being that you guys have, like I said, have matured, have grown, did you ever see y'all getting to that place?
No. So when we first separated, he fed me the stars and the moon. He was like, I'm going to take care of you forever. As long as you don't ever get married again.
Right.
I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to take care of the kids. What? Live in a big, nothing is going to change for you. And I was like,
so that's why you still weren't worried about a job.
I was like, okay, he's going to take care of me. Meanwhile, it wasn't like that. And, the people around was like, Aisha, what's plan B?
Right.
Plan A is not really working right now. So what's plan B? And I was like, still holding on to plan A and still holding out hope because, he always took care of me, so that was a big transition. Learning to rely on myself.
Right.
And finding that support within myself to know you could do it. And I really had a lot of support. My dad would be like, you don't need that nigga. Oh, you can do it. You can be rich on your own. So and he was right. I didn't, and here I am. And I don't. And I think for Chauncey, it was for him, it was good because I mean, I could have really been down and I could have put him on blast. I could have done a whole lot.
Right.
But because I was trying to find who I am, I didn't have time. I didn't have that energy, and I think that's one of the biggest things, young ladies out here, some of them seek that lifestyle and, you want to be around the next rapper or whatever. And while I can definitely acknowledge that times are different and conveniences make things a lot easier, what I will say is that always have your own, and by all means, enjoy the lifestyle and but keep your own, allow it to be an advantage to you, create a business, find a way to fuel your own income, and it'll also make you more valuable to your person. They can see you doing it because that nagging shit is for the birds.
Right.
Nobody wants, because I'm out here making money. Right. Like I ain't got time to sit up and lay with you all day. Find something to do.
Yeah.
So that inspiration, I mean, that message that I find yourself. Right. Find yourself first, first and foremost. And I know that, time is of the essence. And when you're in your 19, 20, your early 20s, you got to optimize that.
Right.
BBL.
So basically,
yeah. For sure.
You gotta get that BBL while it's still popping.
So basically, you're basically saying that they should use it as their advantage. So if they do run into that entertainer, whatever they're doing in the entertainment industry, and they're making money, basically use it for your advantage. Use it for your, to help you come up, not to just sit there and expect from them and you're not doing anything for yourself. Because even if instead of them giving you money, you go buy a $30,000 purse, go put that money and go buy you a house or something. Go buy you a property, a piece of property, a lot or something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So at that time, if that time comes, then you'll be good. Because if you have to fall back and you need money, you have to restart over, you have to build it back up, you will have something. Even if you have to go back and sell the lot, you know what I'm saying, to get the cash, you will at least have something versus saying, well, I have this bag. He bought me this bag and he bought me these shoes.
And when you left the store with that bag has depreciated.
Yeah.
And then another big bag came out.
Yeah. So at this point, like you were saying, if this is what you're actually telling another young lady, the things that can possibly happen. Yes, he can marry you, but you still might have to play number two. Absolutely. Yes, he can marry you, but you still might have to figure out how you're going to start over in your 30s. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, I think you did a wonderful job because your girls are amazing. And then now your second job, at the time you didn't know what a job was, but the second job that you end up getting after the fact, now you're running.
It's actually her career.
Right. So therefore, tell us about that. So how did you go? You went from the first job, now you at Social Security Disability. Now, how did you end up being the head person in charge of Social Security Disability?
Well, I would say anything that I really put my mind to, I'm able to attain.
Was that your goal when you first got there?
No. Well, because I didn't see that as a career. I saw that as a stepping stone.
Because I remember the first day when you came in, when you started, and you really was all to yourself. Like you was still behind that gate. You was like,
really?
You're doing all of that. And I was like, oh, okay. I forgot how we even got to start talking. I know it was in the break room. I think I was walking past or something. I said something. You was like,
and for
then
those,
you said
for
something.
those who can't see, that was like, what?
Yeah, she was doing like this. Y'all, let me turn to the camera. She said.
So she gave you the snooty look. Is what
yeah, she did. She did. And then from that day, then that's the boo to my jank.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you were probably surprised that somebody else gave the snooty look besides you. So he was like, "Oh, that she got to be my friend. She, I don't have. She got to be my friend.
Ain't no way in the world she gave me the snooty look."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So you're there and you're working your way up. So basically, like you said, no matter what you put your mind to, if it's something that you want to do, you're gonna go do what you gotta do, and you're gonna make it happen.
I took full opportunity. I mean, within our agency, we have lots of professional development opportunities that as well develop you personally. I take leadership courses. I sign up for courses. I'm signed up for another leadership course at VCU. So I'm in constant pursuit to better myself. And along the way, I advocate for myself in my professional setting. So my peers and even those above me know who I am. And I've always made sure that my voice was heard. I made sure that I researched and I spoke with confidence and intelligence, because that matters. The way in which you communicate matters. Knowing that you can speak to anyone about anyone or anything rather in any setting. So for me, it was really important for me to advocate for myself, to be an example to my girls. And so, yes, I started out entry level analyst, moved up to basically like almost like an assistant supervisor. It's called a case consultant, but assistant supervisor. And then I became the office manager. And then about a year ago, the opportunity opened up and I applied and I became the director. And now I'm the director of the Tidewater regional office. So we have 5 offices in the state of Virginia, and I run the one basically in the Hampton Roads area where we adjudicate Social Security disability claims.
That's what I was going to ask you. Okay.
Right. So those that's applying for Social Security disability?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
She's in charge.
Anybody in this area. So when you apply because your back hurt and you 35,
you're going to work.
No.
You're going to work.
You're going to work.
Stop
you don't
calling
have to go to work. You can stay home if you want to.
Stop calling me. Okay. No, but it's definitely an eye opener position for me. Shantae knows full well what our agency is about and how those opportunities don't come about very often. Definitely never saw the prior director leaving. Really she just promoted. But you gotta be able to rub elbows with the right people. And I just was able to do it.
So now when you sit back and you look, like you just told us, basically the last few years of your life, now when you sit back and you think about things, do you look at it as that was the path that was already set for you? Or do you sit back, because sometimes it's like, okay, if you would have went this way, suppose you would have stayed outside and decided outside. Because some people still in their 40s, they still outside. They haven't brought it back in yet. You know what I'm saying? So, right, you had to go back and you had to find yourself. So you had to take baby steps to find who really is Aisha. Like, who am I? Because you, like you said, you lived the sheltered life. You went from your mom's house to your husband's house.
Yeah.
And both houses you weren't doing for yourself. Right. They was doing for you. Right. To the point where you couldn't go to this place or that place. And I'm sure your mom had it that way too. So in your 30s, now you can go here, there, everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And you hitting the clubs, you meeting people, you finding yourself, you find out if this is what you really want to do, or if this one. You could have easily took that wrong turn and just stayed out there. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you could have, while you outside, you can meet the wrong people.
Absolutely. And, I met a couple of the wrong people. And for me, that wasn't my path.
Right.
And I met them for that season, and whatever I got from that experience, I used it to go left, and I will say that, when we talked before about the good and the bad, one of the bad things that came from it was that I have a ice box where my heart used to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She's a tough cookie, honey.
Yeah, and I'm trying to do better. I really, truly have not allowed myself to fall in love, be in love. I've not given 100% of myself to anybody.
But do you think that's fair? If you're in a relationship with someone and they're giving you 100% of them and you're giving 80%, but you like this person and you're showing them what you think that you're showing them more than you show the last person, right? But you're still not giving that person what they desire and need from you. So why wouldn't you say, hey, you know what? Well, let me ask you this. Do you even tell them, I'm not 100%?
Yeah, I know that.
You just show them.
I know that. I know my faults. I know my weaknesses. I know that I can't even say relationship, because nobody can ever say that they saw me in a relationship with anybody since my ex-husband. Nobody can ever say, oh yeah, that was Aisha's, whatever. I want that in my future. I want to find my person. But my person is going to know that I'm a work in progress. I'm going to put in full effort that I've never put in before, for the next one. And that's a promise that I made to myself, because, coming out of my prior relationship, I was so broken. I was broken. Loved my husband, wanted it to work. And I was like, ain't nobody going to do that shit to me no more. You're going to get the same energy that you give, and, in a relationship, and a good friend always said to me, in a relationship, somebody always loves the other person more.
Right. That's right.
I want to be the one to love more. I don't want to be loved.
That's going to be nice. Like, I'm excited to even see that.
I mean, me too.
No, I'm serious, because even listening to you speak about it, I can see it like in your cheeks. I can see it in your eyes. So,
I've not been here before. Like, probably even last year, I was like, I am a professional single person. Like
wow.
I do this single life.
Right,
Like
yeah.
I don't need
PhD,
nobody.
yeah.
Absolutely, I don't need nobody. I'm traveling. I'm doing this, but I am tired of taking pictures with my girls.
Right, because your girls, well, one of them is already gone. She's in Spain, and then your oldest one.
I'm talking about my girls. Like,
oh, your girls.
you know, I'm tired of
Oh,
those.
Like we were just sitting here doing like this.
Right.
Oh, you talking about the Golden Girls? Okay, I'm sorry.
Watch it.
I didn't know.
Watch it.
I didn't know which girls you were speaking of, but I definitely understand. And you know, and
or we're going on trips,
right.
and my boo is on the other side of the camera because
yeah,
I'm private.
Yeah.
That's
so basically, you're saying you don't want to keep having to be private.
Yeah, I want to try this love thing in a public setting more so. I want to bring my plus one with me, you know,
and feel good and step in there confident.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that part of the journey was realizing that there is somebody out there that's going to love me, that's going to respect me. You know, there's somebody out there
and accept you for your flaws as well.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Because I mean, none of us is perfect.
Right. Exactly.
You know? All we can do is be the best for each other and grow and acknowledge that it's a constant pursuit.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, I'm excited about that part because I've never been there before where I've actually verbalized that, you know, I'm on the market, you know. Hey.
So, with all that being said, what do Aisha expect for Aisha in maybe the next 3 to 5 years, other than being a little bit more public with your love? But other than that, what do you expect for yourself? Or what are some of your goals?
It's such a loaded question because in my life, I've never planned for my future. I've never, hey, this is where I want to be in 5 years. Okay. Even after Chauncey, I've never planned for it. I just let life happen and take it as it comes. And I think as we get older and we plan for retirement and we plan for that day when we don't have to work anymore, it becomes important for you to start thinking about that 3 to 5 to 10 year plan. And for me, you know, I'm very far removed from retirement, so that's definitely not within my 3 to 5 year plan.
Right.
However, at work, I plan to continue to evolve and develop and grow in my leadership role. And I plan to develop people under me.
That's right.
That's important to me. And in the virtual setting that we're in now, you know, people become so disconnected from what their true meaning is, what their true being is, because you become so isolated with your purpose. There's nobody around you to impact you. And in a leadership role, it's our job to pull people out of that, you know. And for me, it's very important to pick up the next person. Because I can't continue to flourish by myself without a team.
That's right.
You know, and I can't be great if you're not good, you know. And that was one of the things that a friend of mine always would tell my daughter as a point guard. You know, as a point guard, make others look good while you look great. And that's the story of life. Like, you know, I can't do this, you know, like
by yourself,
I am so fucking proud of Shantae, and she left Social Security and has become a mogul in and of herself. And when people ask about her at work, I'm like, she is doing the damn thing. Like that was the best thing that she ever did. This was holding her back, you know. And I think my sisterhood, my group of friends, you know, we are all so accomplished in our own right, and we continue to build each other up. We're getting ready to start a monthly meeting where we come together and we talk about leadership skills and leadership styles and how you can grow and things like that are important to me. So within the next 3 to 5 years, definitely plan to have somebody by my side.
She's speaking into it.
Yeah.
Listen,
she is.
Hey.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But you know, and I plan to continue to grow professionally and hopefully, you know, diversify my portfolio financially, and watch my kids as they grow into adulthood themselves.
But 2 of them are already adults, Aisha. Did you miss it?
She must be talking about her baby.
And she's almost there too.
And I saw her picture. I said,
Thank you for having me, y'all.
I said she didn't. I said she didn't had a
Thank
growth
you.
spurt. I was like, oh my God, she's taller
Oh
than
no,
me.
she's ginormous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
If she didn't look like her dad, he probably would have asked for a paternity test. Yeah.
Right.
but I'm sure there were times when you couldn't see your hand in front of you, right?
Mhm.
Absolutely.
But again, I just know that the journey that you're on, you're supposed to be there.
Right.
You're supposed to be there,
Mhm.
and you're
Yes.
you're confident in who you are. And if anybody's around you, and it's like even like far as your career, I'm sure you are a leader that does pull people up.
Mhm.
As you build, y'all climbing
Mhm.
together, right? So if somebody's around you, they should look at you as a person of influence. Like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going through whatever at home, but when I come to work, I know I got a fair boss. She's gonna pull me up. She's gonna, strengthen me, and that speaks volumes to who you are as a person.
Right.
So, I
But I do hold people accountable.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And
I think
you
that
have a
people
job
get-
to do.
They get that twisted.
Mhm.
That hey, we used to go to lunch, or you look like me,
Mhm.
and no, that's not how this works.
Right.
Success comes with accountability.
Right.
And you have to be responsible for the things that you want your check, so you got to do your job. But
Of
yes,
course, of course.
Yeah.
And they should, at the end of the day, well, I guess if they don't know that and they cross the line, they're gonna respect it.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're gonna respect it. But I have enjoyed you. Miss Go Getter,
Right.
what you take away? Matter of fact, before we do what we take away, I wanted to ask you, Miss Aisha H. Far as your time here on Wait Again Minute podcast, like what has your experience been?
Much more rewarding than I had anticipated. I mean, I didn't anticipate any, like I came into it with an open mind,
Okay.
and you and I spoke before, and and I didn't know where we were going with it,
Mhm.
because my story does have moments in which it can be construed to, you know, degrade a
Right.
man, and that's
Mhm.
never my intention. So I wanted to make sure, and I know that y'all are not like that,
Oh, no.
but for glorification purposes, for media purposes, and for the glitz and
Sometimes it's like
glamour,
that, yeah.
sometimes you need, just like reality TV, you need
Mhm.
somebody to have a fight at the end of the show. You know what I'm saying? So
Not at the end of the show.
right. But for me, it was very rewarding to have this kind of conversation, tell a small portion of my story. And it's so funny that I've had probably like 3 people say, "Hey, let's write a book." And like the meat
Remember,
and
I used to tell
potatoes.
you that, and I
Mhm.
used to say, "What else I used to tell you?" Remember, I used to say, "Oh, you should do a reality show."
Yes. Yes. Years and years ago, I was approached, and it was like ex-wives of R&B something. I was like, I ain't doing that shit. You ain't gonna put me in no
She kept saying, "I said, do it, do it." She said, "No."
old ass group of people that trying to hold on to fame, and
Right,
no,
yeah.
I ain't doing that. No. But a book. I love writing poetry and
Okay.
stuff like that, and I've always been a writer. So that's something that's not, outside of my reach. But, to get back to your question, just to come here and experience it, support my friends, and your mission, and congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Great atmosphere, great setting, great platform, for people to be who they are, and to expose Black excellence.
Mm-hmm.
Keyword right there, Black excellence. So there will be no fighting at the end of the show.
Right.
No, I can't fight.
There will be no fighting at the end of the show. But Miss Go Getter, what did you take away from today?
I took. Let's see. I'm taking away. I can actually. Not only did I know she was growing and she changed a lot, but to hear her speak of her growth, that I was like, wow. I wasn't expecting her to, because look, let me tell y'all, she's like me, we really are pretty much similar. Like she'll give you a little snippet, but she ain't gonna tell you all of her business. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna tell you everything. But for to hear her actually like speak about, give little snippets of her life, but openly do so, and then even to mention about, her heart is cold and all that, um, I'm shocked. Cause I really thought she was gonna get up and be like this. And we was gonna be like, come on, Aisha. And she gonna be like, oh yeah, my name is Aisha.
I like a mic.
Oh yeah. But
I used to be a rapper.
yeah, but I'm taking away where I can actually hear and see her grow. But I already knew that she grew a lot, even from the time when we first met. But to actually hear her speak about her growth, I'm really impressed.
That was great. What I took away from it, basically her being transparent and showing her vulnerability. And I think it's gonna, when other people see it or hear it, they may see themselves and realize that,
you can start over.
You can start over. Things may not have ended the way that you wanted it to, but life happened.
Right. Sometimes your plan B end up being better than your plan A.
Right.
And preserve your energy. Even if you don't have the same story as mine, you weren't married to whoever you were married to. If it doesn't work out, it's not your job to make sure that everybody knows why it didn't work out.
Right.
Move on and grow.
Yeah.
And I think that our Black men, they get it from every avenue as it is. They don't need to get it from the person that they once loved, that you have kids by,
because they were wrong and they have become
because they wronged you.
Woman, yeah.
They wronged you, so now you want the kid. No,
but you can never. And I think that's a great point. And I think a lot of us miss that. If somebody hurt us, we feel as though we can literally pay them back for what they've done. So you try to humiliate them or do whatever it is you can personally do to a person.
Right.
But they would never feel the way that you felt.
No.
So my thing is,
you're just really putting it out there that you hurt. Yeah, and you still hurt.
If it's too big for you, give it to God. Let him handle it. Right. And you try to get yourself together.
Right.
And move forward.
Exactly.
Because like if you worried about the past, you can't be moving forward.
No.
So basically the life is moving forward.
Absolutely.
Moving forward, like at all costs.
Yeah.
Move forward, and some people
move into your own light.
Yeah. Because I'm listening to you and I'm like, okay, she's saying that she back to herself, but you are a new Aisha.
Yes.
Because you were never this person.
No.
And I'm just excited that
the growth is real, honey.
I'm excited for the love life. People can stop coming from behind the camera and just, you have a new love life in 3 to 5 years and just live life.
I don't know how soon they're gonna come from behind the camera, okay?
I said 3 to 5 years.
Well, they might come from behind.
Then.
Look, they might come from behind the camera. You might start seeing the leg and stuff now. Now we might start catching legs. We might see a shoulder.
Showing body parts.
Yeah, start showing body. Gotta move slow.
But I know that you already given some advice to the young ladies who seek this life. But what other information or would you tell them, say, hey, I think you should or shouldn't do?
I mean, you're gonna have the ones that are gonna pursue it at all costs,
right?
And those are the ones you want to try to reach because they can be blinded. They can be blinded by the bright lights, and those are the ones that you want to pull back and have that impact on. And if you are sitting out there and you are pursuing that man with the mic in his hand, find yourself first and find your purpose. You can't present yourself wholly to anybody if you don't know what your purpose is.
That's right.
Because then you absorb them. You absorb who they are, and you lose sight of who you are, and you stunt your own growth. Even at 19, 20, 21, whatever, that's not too young. Not in this day and age.
Right.
I mean, I had a whole full family with a household, by 19 and a half,
Right.
So my biggest piece would be, even in the midst of the bright lights in the big city and all of that good stuff, because I was there. I wish I would tell the 19-year-old Aisha to continue to pursue your dreams, your goals. I was supposed to go to law school. I was supposed to be a lawyer. My best friend in college, she went to law school. She became a lawyer. And for a long time, I really felt less than, because my friends were all doing it. They had accomplished careers, or at least were pursuing accomplished careers. And I was just Chauncey's wife, So there was a piece of me that was stunted, during that period. And it wasn't Chauncey's fault. It wasn't anybody's fault. It was the period that I was in, and I just didn't absorb that moment fully, and take advantage of the advantages. So I would say take full advantage, Yeah, you can go buy that bag, but don't buy the $30,000 bag. Buy the $10,000 bag and put $20,000, into investment, So yeah, I mean, you can still live the lifestyle, have fun, take the pictures, get your BBL and all of that good stuff, And I am not hating,
Right.
'cause I am 46 and sometimes I feel it. But you can still do all of those things, but do them smart. Like, be smart about it.
Right.
Age is not indicative of intelligence.
Right.
That again.
So
That is so true. But we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna end it with our theme song. So I'm just gonna get any last words for you.
I have one thing.
Okay.
I would like for y'all to sing all the words, because y'all just be going in and out.
And then, are you gonna sing some?
I don't know all the words.
Maybe-
I'll jump in when I can.
Maybe I don't know all the
well,
words either.
we're gonna see. And when the world you don't know all the words.
I don't.
Let's go. Listen up, everybody. Have you heard the news? Show is breaking all the rules. And now we on the move. The global, we got something to prove. We came from the bottom, now we at the tippy top. Cause we all we got. It's a cold, cold world, and we keeping it hot. On the line, ain't no time to stop. Still we having fun. Ain't no holding our tongue. Go get us on the team, yeah, we getting it done. And shout out to Travell, yeah, you number one. Dream turn into a mission. It's our mission. If you ain't about to change, mind your business.
Now wait again a minute. Wave your hands with it. Wave again a minute. Wave your hands with it. Now wait again a minute. Wave your hands with it. We top six like we all up on the gram with it. Now wait again a minute. Wave your hands with it. Now wait again a minute. Wave your hands with it. Now wait again a minute. Wave your hands with it. We top six like we all up on the gram with it.
Good night.